What is going on, NostalgiaCon? Guys, I am so excited to be here. When they asked me to do some panels for them, I immediately requested this one because I'm a gigantic Disney fan. Huge. Where's our Disney fans? Absolutely. Even though I am, my name is Stephen Kramer Glickman. I am mostly known as Gustavo Rock from the Nickelodeon television show Big Time Rush. I do work for Disney as well. I'm on a show called Hamster and Gretel, and I'm a massive, massive fan of everybody that is going to be a part of this today. So let's give them a round of applause already, even though I'm going to say their names, but just give everyone a big round of applause for being here for this. Oh yeah, we've got some big talent here today, guys. Some people I'm very excited about. Let's start off by introducing one of my absolute heroes, an absolute icon, the voice of Goofy. Give it up for Bill Farmer! Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Get on up here, Bill, you legend. How are you, pal? Grab a seat, grab a seat. Thank you so much. Bill Farmer, everybody. Does that work yet? Here, let me.
Testing, 1, 2. There you go.
Perfect.
Hello. There we go. There we go.
That was great.
Much better
Bill.
when the thing works.
You bet. All right, we've got another amazing, incredible talent. She has been the voice of Snow White for the last 15 years. Give it up for Katie Von Till.
Yeah.
Let's go. Keep it going, guys. Katie Von Till, everyone. Let's get your mic turned on. Let's make sure that's working.
Hi there. Hello there. Oh, hello there.
We love that. We love it. Next up, we have someone that is truly another absolute legend, someone that we all love, that is incredible. He is currently in the Disney project Big City Greens, but you know him from Futurama. Give it up for Billy West!
Yeah.
Coming up, Billy West, keep it going, keep it going. Love it, amazing. Now, let's make sure your mic's.
Thank you.
There we go, perfect.
Hey, how's the fentanyl around here? Any good? Great.
Top tier. We're also going to bring up to the stage someone I'm super excited to introduce. You may know her as Meg from Hercules. I'm a gigantic fan of her work on Broadway. Give it up for Susan Egan!
Yeah!
Let's go! Susan Egan. How are you, Susan? And finally, I'm just honored and bewildered and extremely excited to introduce the voice of Hercules, the one and only Tate Donovan!
Perfect. Great.
There we go. Keep it going, keep it going.
You gotta bring your own chair.
Do we deliver at NostalgiaCon or do we deliver? That's right. Look at this magic right here. Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this.
Get out.
Somebody pinch me.
Let's start. I'm gonna same question. We're gonna do some of the same question for each of you. How did you get cast at Disney? What was your experience of starting to work with Disney? Give us the story. We want to know the introduction, how it happened, and what it felt like to start working for such an incredible place. Let's start with Tate.
Let's see. I just auditioned, like everybody else, but I went into the audition room, and this was like after Aladdin. So, I don't know if you guys know, but like animated features from Disney after Aladdin became very hip. Like once Robin Williams did it, like every actor in the world was like, oh my gosh, I really want to be a part of that. So I remember going into the audition room and seeing every big actor my age in the waiting room, and I was like, oh man, I'm never gonna get this. This is ridiculous. You know, how can I beat, you know, Kiefer Sutherland and Rob Lowe? I mean, they were all in this waiting room. It was unbelievable. And for some crazy reason, they said, oh, we want you. So I got the role, and one funny thing about the audition process was they were like, okay, anytime there was some sides, you know, and there's a microphone, and the directors sat there, and they were like, anytime you're ready, just go ahead and start. And they went, action, and they just bowed their head and closed their eyes, and I was like, what's going on? I thought they were like having a prayer session before my audition or something like that. I had no idea. And I was like, oh, right, it's animation. They don't need to see my face, right, of course. So, yeah, it was an incredible experience, you know. When I first got the role, all these people came up to me and said, oh my gosh, you're gonna live in history, you know, you're part of, you know, the Disney lore. And that didn't really hit me until I came to cons like this, and I'm like, oh my God, they were right. You know, like it's been like 30 years, and meeting all you guys is just one of the greatest joys of my life. Hearing what you got from the movie is just such a pleasure, and I want to thank you guys for showing up. I really do.
I love that. Yeah. Amazing.
It's really true. For an actor to be part of a Disney feature or any sort of Disney project is to be part of something that's timeless. Like, it will outlast us, and that's an amazing thing. For me, I auditioned on the other coast. I auditioned in New York. Tate auditioned here. And for me, it had been a couple movies since they had an actress be both the singing voice and the speaking voice. So they went back to sort of their roots, looking for Broadway talent like Jodie and like Paige, you know, from Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid. Only they wouldn't let me audition because I was doing Beauty and the Beast for them, and they didn't think I was right for the role of Meg because they didn't know how sarcastic I was in real life. But they finally let me audition, and I booked the gig, and I'm so grateful. And yeah, she's a sassy girl who I think was a little ahead of her time. So I'm grateful that I got to be a part of it.
Susan, what came first? Did Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast came first.
Beauty and the Beast came first. No kidding.
Yeah.
So you did Beauty and the Beast on Broadway first, and
I
then
did
and
for
then
like
they were
2
like,
years, yes, and then it took about a year for us to get the job. I don't know how long it was for you. Yeah. So I guess they whittle it down to their favorite 3 voices for each character, and they test animate. And it was almost a year after I had auditioned. I was now doing Beauty and the Beast in Los Angeles. And I remember Michael Eisner came down the hall, and he's like, Egan, you know, great audition for Hercules. And I thought, oh, I made it to Eisner, yay, you know.
wow.
But yeah, I was doing Beauty at the time.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that.
It was fun.
That's great. Come on. What about you, Mr. West?
Well, I guess to make a long story short, if you want to work, you have to audition. That's the main theme that's going on here. And it's not dehumanizing, but it's intimidating, because you got to walk into a room full of strangers usually, and they're just like, you know, you got 3 seconds, make us cry, or you know what I mean? But you have to be ready for anything. And I first moved to New York, I was working in radio. I worked on the Howard Stern show, and what's Billy talking about, Robin? He never knew what I was talking about. And I was there for a while, and I started doing auditions for Nickelodeon. They were going to have a 3-cartoon block on Sunday mornings. Jerry Laybourne, the head of Nickelodeon, wanted to do everything the networks weren't doing. So they put their cartoons on Sunday morning instead of Saturday. And I auditioned for a couple of shows, and I got both of them at the same time. One was a very sweet show. It was called Doug, and he was a painfully average 11-and-a-half-year-old, and he had a nemesis. You know, he was like, "Dear Journal, hi, it's me, Doug. No, it ain't, you lying loser. You rat bastard, quit lying funny." And I just absolutely loved that show. I love the little world that they created, and I watch it, you know, and I go, this was so well done. You know, you just get that feeling like I wish I could be in that world sometimes. Because I remember when we used to live on Earth, you know, and then I did auditions for a show called Ren and Stimpy. It was kind of psychotic, a brain-dead cat and a asthma hound chihuahua, quintessential a-hole, you know, combination of characters. And but Stimpy was sweet, you know, and kind of I don't know, unassuming, affable, you know, happy, joy. He wanted to have everybody happy, and will you shut up, you fool? Yes, I shall kill you, Stimpy. And that was like a lot of screaming and yelling, you know. I was married at the time, and I used to call my wife, and I used to say, I'm not going to be able to do this show. I'm like, I lost my voice every single day, and then I'd go to bed at like 7 o'clock so I could see if I could recover to go back and do it again the next day. But I found a way to scream and yell. You know, it's like out of necessity. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to drop dead, and I didn't want to wind up in the unemployment line. And the audition process all the way to this day, 20 years ago, I auditioned for Futurama. I got a couple of roles on the show, few, and very fortunate. Again, walking into a room full of, you know, I said, oh, there's Ryan Stiles, you know, he's going to mop the floor with this audition. I said, what am I even doing here? I was going to leave, and then I said, no, don't leave. And I went in and talked to Matt Groening and his folks, and they showed me a couple of pictures of characters, and one was an old ancient professor, and he was like, who needs courage when you have a gun? And then there was the other one I was auditioning for, Zoidberg, and he was like, you need an autograph? What about Zoidberg? No, nobody loves Zoidberg. They only care about the stupid Fry or the robot. And that was it. And then at the last minute, they pulled a picture out of the central character, Fry. Matt Groening said, I'm just curious, like, what would you do with this? I wasn't prepared for it. So I try to remember what I sounded like when I was 25 years old. I was all whiny and nasally and complainy. And I was in a band, and, oh, shit, I broke a string. Now what am I going to do? You know, and they were like, and then I got a call, and I got 3 roles out of that, and then it turned into our beautiful Phil Hartman was going to do Zapp Brannigan, and he was dispatched by his wife, unfortunately and horribly, and so you know, they asked me if I would do it, and he was so deliciously stupid and pompous, and it's like they described him as like if William Shatner ran the Enterprise rather than James T. Kirk, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
Giff, pick up my underwear. Have the boy pick up my underwear. You know, and Giff, inform the men I made it with a woman. You know, and then it turned into some incidental voices, and I get to work with the greatest cast. You know all the names. If you go look up, you'll say, oh, I know Maurice, I know Dave Herman, I know Tress MacNeille, you know. So yeah, so there you go.
Incredible.
Now you know.
Great job.
I mean, come on, right?
Katie, yeah, how did this happen?
Hey, right? How did this happen? Well, you know, I grew up wanting to be a Disney princess, as so many of us want to. It did not occur to me that I could be one that already existed. I didn't know that voice matching was a thing when I got into this business, and I actually just told Susan before we started, I took an animation class that included some voice matching, and I voice matched Meg. Was the first character I ever tried to match. I know,
crazy.
so it's like literally the first time I ever tried to do it was to Susan, and so I owe her a little bit of something because it made me think I could do it. And then, like everybody else, I auditioned. You know what I mean? They were looking for a couple of voices at the time. They were looking for a new Sleeping Beauty. I went into my closet booth and listened and recorded Sleeping Beauty many, many times. Snow White, I listened to her once. I did 1 take. That is what I sent in. Got a call back. was so scared out of my mind because they didn't put their heads down, but they put me in a booth where I couldn't see out of the booth at all. So there was no one to even see. I was like alone in a vacuum.
Oh my gosh.
But it went really well, and then 3 weeks later, I found out I had booked the gig, and the casting director was at my first session, and he said, "Congratulations, we're so happy for you." And then he said, "But you're not Cinderella." And I was like, "Okay, what does that mean?" And he was like, "Well, Snow White's not necessarily the most popular. You're not going to buy a house off this gig, but you'll be in here about once a quarter." And he's been right. For the last 15 years, about once a quarter, I've gotten to do some amazing, amazing projects. But it's all because I figured out voice matching was a thing.
Wow.
So, yeehaw.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Let me see. Mine was a little bit different. I lived in Dallas at the time, and I did stand-up comedy. And I did that for about 3 or 4 years just to get into show business because I always wanted. I'm from Kansas, and there's not a lot of outlet for show business in Kansas. And so I did radio for a number of years. I got into stand-up comedy in Dallas, Texas. I did one movie in Dallas that became a big thing called RoboCop. I was an on-the-street reporter, and I remember it was August of 1986, and my wife dropped me off on the set at 3 p.m. I went on at 1 a.m., and it was 96 degrees. Peter Weller in the RoboCop outfit was just sweating himself to death. An agent that I had said, you do a lot of different voices and stuff. You ought to try it in Hollywood. So I moved out to Hollywood. I was able to get an agent, and about 5 months later, they said, "Do you do any of the Disney characters?" And Goofy was always my favorite when I was a kid. And I said, I can do a pretty good Goofy. And they gave me a cassette of the original voice, Pinto Colvig. I had to copy that and send it in. I wasn't expecting anything, but I got a call to do a voice. There was no secondary callback. It was, I got booked on a show called Disney's Doggone Valentine, and I had to loop a cartoon. And that's where you see the cartoon, you replace the original dialogue with your dialogue. And I said something like, "Gosh, you put my foot on the step, on the gas, and I'm out of here quick." And I'd never done that before, and I was sweating, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was so green, I met the voice of Donald Duck, Tony Anselmo. He is an artist, and he was drawing Donald, just doodling it. And I swear, I was so green, I thought, well, we don't have to draw these guys too, do we? I really thought they made a horrible mistake. And, oh, good, I just have to talk like Goofy. I don't have to draw him. So I did that one thing in January of 1986, and then like a month and a half later, I got to do it again. And again, they never really said, "You're the voice now." They just, we're all independent contractors, really. Every cartoon's like a new contract and everything. Still is to this day. Never been an employee of Disney, but I've worked with them a lot. And now, about 40 years later, I'm still doing it, and I'm still happy. So.
Hell yeah! Amazing, amazing. I love it, Bill. Bill, I gotta always throw out this to you. You were the third guest on my podcast, and then we did 225 episodes of that podcast in 6 years of doing it. But you were number 3, like 3 or 4 on the.
Wow.
And it's like when you're starting a new show, you're trying to get people and try. It was like it was the key to be able to get anyone we wanted to get. So thank you again for doing that. We can take 2 questions from the audience, and they are telling us we have to wrap up, which is ridiculous because you guys are amazing. Before we take questions, just point. Where is your booth, Bill? Where's your booth?
Where's my booth?
Yeah.
It is.
Are you signing every day?
Over there. Yeah. I think in the second group over there toward, I don't know, have a number down.
Katie, are you signing all 3 days?
I am signing things, and I think Bill's just a few down from me, and I think I'm D14, so I think Bill's right around. I'm on that row. I think Bill's a little further, close between D12 and T11, maybe.
Yeah, I'm old.
Great.
I might wander
Billy,
off.
where are you? Are you signing all 3 days?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
I don't know where I am. I mean, I'm out. Turn right at C3PO or
There
something.
we go. Susan, where are you signing
Yeah, I
all
think
3 days?
Tate and I are
Tate?
like by D12 maybe, Tate?
Yeah. Yeah, all
Okay,
3
great.
days.
All right, you guys got to go meet them in person. You got to get pictures with them. You got to get them to sign stuff. These are absolute legends. Can we agree? Freaking legends. All right, we can take 2 questions, and then we got to wrap up. Go for it.
Hello, my name is Maxwell. I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, also a big fan of Bedtime Rust. My question is for Bill, Suzanne, and Tate. What's it like to voice a character for a Disney movie compared to voicing the character in a video game?
Oh, the difference
What's the difference between, like,
voicing for a video game or for a movie?
It's kind of the same, really, because generally we aren't watching the footage or anything. It hadn't been done yet, so it's just a piece of paper with some script on it, and your job is to take those words, bring them to life, and give them emotion, give them personality. Whether it's a video game, whether it is a television series or a movie, it's fairly similar. Video games like Kingdom Hearts, I hear that, first of all, that was done in Japan first, so I'm hearing Japanese Goofy in my headphones. That's a little odd. And replacing the dialogue, and I'm doing that to footage. Television series is usually linear, it's like a story. So you kind of usually start at the first and you go. But these days, it's all solo. I do it at my house since COVID, and my son's my engineer, and we send us the lines, and we do maybe 3 takes each one. Director says, take B, let's move on to the next line, and you just do the lines. And that's kind of the way it is these days.
Love it. Very
So
cool.
thank you.
Great question. Great question. All right, last question.
All right.
Make
so,
it a good one.
All right. All of you are legends, by the way. That you should know that. But my question is, you've been playing your characters for a real long time, and voices do change slightly with age. Sometimes the character does not have their voice change. So what is your process in order to keep your character's voice consistent over the years that you play them?
I'd love to start that if you don't mind.
Please.
Well, since I'm voice matching somebody else, part of how I keep her fresh in my mind is I am always re-listening to the original. I'm always re-listening to Adriana Castellotti so I can keep that fresh in my head. Always.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I guess, Goofy's just going to sound like this before too long. I don't know. I don't really do much other than it's like an exercise. You know, it's like if you can run and jog and you lay off for a couple of weeks, you can tell. It's like the more you do it, the better the muscles stay in shape and the easier it is to do the voice, and it doesn't change that much over time.
If you're doing imitation of characters like sound-alikes and voice match, it pretty much stays the same no matter what. But characters that are original, that you had a hand in creating, they morph, they drift, they become what they were supposed to be after a year or two. If you listen to the 4th episode of The Simpsons, Homer is unrecognizable compared to the 400th episode. You know, so it drifts and it finds itself, though, and it's a beautiful process. I go back and I listen to stuff and I go, ee, you know, but I mean, it became what it was supposed to be eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's technique, like Bill was saying, and also, you know, that it does take warming up, it does take exercising a muscle, you know, like anything else. Although I think Meg has probably drifted lower and lower the older I get.
Yeah, I have a tough time keeping Herc. Really? I don't know. He was 17, you know what I mean? I'm 62. It's pretty hard.
Come on, that's amazing. Well, guys, this has been absolutely incredible. Please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Great job. Great job. Thank you all so much. Oh, let's
Thank
all get
you.
together for a photo,
We got a
guys.
picture. We got a selfie.